Of course, you're still watching the Saturday Breakfast Show. This is the entertainment segment. Of course, my name is Theophilus Ilama, and I have my co-host with me, Adebanke Odunui. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm fine. Thank you very much. And I'm very happy we have finally left the month of love. And now we're in the month meant for women.
Okay,
Finally,
so
all of the peppering has come to an end for now.
which peppering?
Singles peppering now, that we don't have our own partners, husbands.
Why are you peppered? I don't understand.
I mean, with just too much pressure and everything. So, and besides, looking at you, you look very handsome and very colorful this morning. I think it's actually the month of Theophilus, not the month of women. So, I don't know, but I'm sure happy. Thank God.
Okay, so yeah, happy with the whole matter.
Yes.
Enjoyment. Enjoy. That's good. We allow it. So, of course, looking at what we are doing today, we are going to be talking about, of course, box office and all of that. And, of course, it's no news that the Nigerian film industry has grown exponentially over the recent years. Now, we now have movies raking in billions of naira. Who would have thought we could get to this level so quickly? These high-performing Nollywood films range from drama to action to comedy, and many Nigerians, more than ever before, watch homegrown movies, thereby choosing to support their own. However, how good are these so-called high-earning movies? Now, to talk more on this, we have Mosa Alabi, the founder and CEO of Nollywire. Of course, in just 2 years, Nollywire rather, in just 2 years, Nollywire has emerged as the top destination for Nollywood movie enthusiasts, changing how Nigerians discover and engage with films through curated filmographies and audience ratings. Of course, collaborating with industry giants like Prime Video, Filmhouse Group, Showmax, Netflix, Mosa has curated premiere experiences and participated in promotion of major Nollywood releases. Mosa Alabi is a visionary leader shaping the future of Nigerian cinemas. Thank you very much for joining us, Mosa Alabi. All right, so that was a huge CV from your end.
Very big, very big and impressive one.
Very impressive, very impressive. And of course, so let's look at the box office earnings now. Recently, Funke Akindele's movie, A Tribe Called Judah, hits about 1 billion naira. Of course, has gone way more than that since then.
It closed out at 1.4.
1.4, yes. And of course, Malaika as well, over
370 million.
Million.
So, what does this say about us?
I think it's good news. It shows that Nigerian cinema is growing, even at a time when all around the world there is kind of like a drop, especially in Hollywood last year.
Yes.
Looking at the strike and everything. So last year was a good year for Nigerian cinema in streaming and even at the box office as well.
So it was a good year despite everything. But the questions many people have asked is, who owns the money?
I mean, if you're talking about box office earnings, right? Yes. I think that the people who make the most, if I remember correctly, are the cinema operators, right? So typically, I mean, it's not always like that. So every other week, opening week split is different from the other weeks. But overall, you can just say that whatever you earn at the box office, the operator, the cinemas, they take, let's say, 50%.
So for Funke Akindele, for example, who made about 1.4 billion, so she might be collecting about 700 million thereabouts.
So it's the deal varies. If Funke Akindele, I have clout, I know I will bring people for you, because the main way our cinema operators make money is from concessions. So, but if I am certain that, okay, I'm going to bring X number of people like you've never seen all year, so I can have leverage, Funke has leverage to negotiate better deals for ourselves, 100%. But still, you can just, for easy, you can just say 50% off top goes to the cinema operators.
50% goes to the cinema operators. So
yes.
what now comes to the, because there's also the place of the marketers.
Yes, the marketers, the distributors. So typically as well, you can expect overall, 1/3 gets back to the producer, which now is Funke Akindele. So 1.4, we're expecting maybe, about 350-ish, 400 getting back to her. I mean, so after all is said and done, and now we're not even talking about taxes and all that. So it's but the real value of where box office really plays, in my opinion, to my knowledge, is that it helps in negotiations for that, the deals after the box office.
Okay.
So if you're negotiating with Prime Video, but you've not, your film did not release at the cinemas, you don't have a number to use. But right now, A Tribe Called Judah is the highest grossing film. It means when it comes to streaming, everybody is going to go and find it. So every streamer will be fighting for it right now. And she'll have a number to use to negotiate. But for someone who is just going straight to streaming, if you accept you're good and you can convince them about the value of the IP, then there's no number to use, for that negotiation. But box office helps with that.
Okay, so you mentioned that 50% goes to the cinemas.
Yes.
One cinema or the conglomerate of cinemas?
So that's overall. So I'm buying a ticket of 5,000 or 3,500. So it splits. Then they return. They remove taxes as well, because if the cinemas are removing the taxes, then they send back to the distributor. Distributor remove its own money as well. And then these are issues that even executives in the industry have been discussing for years, multiple taxations at all these levels before even the producer has to now pay taxes as well. So you can see how this is really, really tough for Nigerian filmmakers. They are the OG, they are the VIPs. In fact, they are doing amazing work.
So it means that if your movie grossed about 50-something million after everything, you are going home with close to nothing.
Yes, that's correct. That's correct.
The more you mention distribution, I kind of remember also piracy. How much do you think piracy takes from these producers, distributors, and also the cinemas?
Honestly, it's hard to value, because data even already is a big issue, in Nigeria. But I'll say a lot. Because whether for streaming titles, whether for films at the box office films actually are more secure. Although we did experience a breach last year for A Tribe Called Judah.
Even Malaika,
Yeah, as well.
that she almost fainted.
Exactly. So that was new. It was very terrible act by whoever perpetrated that. However, when a film is in the cinemas, it's more secure. You can't get access to it. It has to be someone somewhere, maybe as they're sharing the files. It doesn't necessarily mean it's from the cinema operators, right?
How are they more secure? What do you mean by more secure? Is it that for streaming platforms, for example, a Prime Video, for example, someone can leak it from maybe where they control the whole platform, or what?
So if you understand how all these piracy websites work, so they seed and all these things, but on for a cinema title, it's well protected. There is a technology that prevents that. Even though the technology exists that protects even a film that is online, a lot of these streaming platforms have not implemented that. So if you notice, when Battle on Booker Street was released in 2022, and throughout its entire run at the cinemas, you didn't find anything anywhere.
Okay.
The same thing applies across the world. It's when it comes to streaming that you now find it everywhere. That people can download it for free everywhere. And this takes away, because imagine there was no piracy. It means there will be more subscribers for streaming platforms, and it means if Netflix was earning more, if Prime Video was earning more, if Showmax was earning more, they will give Nigerian producers more money to make better films, because budget is everything after all, right?
Yeah, okay, so I know there was a time that there was this complaint about having more cinemas, or we having less cinemas in Nigeria. But do you think this has affected the quality of movies we bring out?
Oh, definitely, because again, it comes down to the numbers, right? So because currently we have fewer than 200 screens in Nigeria. And the entire sub-Saharan African, fewer than 1,800, 1,700. So, because if you look at just the US alone, the US is about, there have been reductions, but more than 30,000 screens. Okay. UK, more than 4,000 screens. But the entire sub-Saharan Africa, fewer than 1,700 screens. So what this means is, so a tribe culture that we're talking about today, that it made 1.4 billion. If we had, say, 2,000 screens in Nigeria, it means easily that film made 10 billion, maybe 6 billion, but definitely not 1.5, 1.4. If you see a film in like today makes 50 million, it means that film could have easily made maybe 300, could have made 400, 500 million. So if we have more screens, it means films could make more money. So to answer your question about production quality, it means producers will be able to convince investors about returns because potential earnings are higher now because of more screens. So these are the issues that we even need more investors to come in to focus on having more locations for people to experience Nigerian films.
You're talking about more investment to come in. What will it be for them?
I mean, first of all, it will be an asset because if for us to have more locations, it means somebody has to build a place. So real estate is what we're talking about here in the end, right? And it also means in terms of concessions, that's where the real money is for operators, basically. So think about it this way. A tribe called that had about 350,000 admissions, if I'm not wrong. So, 350,000 people went to watch A Tribe Called Judah, if I remember correctly. So for example, now when I went to watch it with my ex back then. So
February.
February. Yeah,
I'm so glad I'm not.
yeah. February is over, like you said.
Over. Thank you.
So, and but what we spent on the ticket was like twice what we spent on like popcorn and drinks and stuff. So that money we spent on popcorn, whatever, goes to the cinema operator. So by the time 10 people buy tickets, so let's say film tickets is actually 3.5. But let's say average person spending 5K on popcorn and stuff. So by the time we buy 10 tickets, we have 35,000 naira on ticket sales. We have 50K on popcorn and drinks. And that 50K belongs to the cinema operator, no shares.
So and they will still take from the 35?
Now they will not take half from that 35.
It's time to, I think we need to start the cinema business. Start to.
But it's operation heavy. So that's why they need big films to bring a lot of people. So all year around, like most of the year, people are trickling in. But thanks to people like Funke Akindele, to Abraham, they're able to bring people in numbers. So that's when things really. So if we're able to have more event films like that brings people out in thousands, hundreds of thousands of, then like cinema business, we will see more places. So it's a thing that it's an ecosystem in the end, right? So we need our producers to make more money, to make better films, so that it will be an event. Cinema is an event, people like plan it. I remember when, towards December, everybody was planning towards, okay, I'm going to watch this.
Yes.
They were planning for it. It was an event. It's not something that, so this is very important. Like, producers need to make more money so that they can make good films that will bring people out to the cinemas, so that the cinema producers can also make more money.
So, for the previous week, the last week of February, I looked at the box office ratings and I saw that Madam Web, the Hollywood movie, was #1, and our own movies were down and everything and all. I want to ask, let's make a comparison between Nigerian movies and Nollywood and Hollywood movies. Do you think that we're getting there? First of all, let me ask, which one takes gold for you? Do you like Hollywood movies, or are you a born and bred Nigerian Nollywood lover? Or you like Shori Bollywood? Excuse me.
So, since we launched Nollywire, I've been more about Nollywood. There's something I've been saying that Hollywood is fine. Hollywood is fine. It's not that I'm not saying boycott Hollywood, but a lot of the Hollywood studios, they have huge budgets. And when we compare Nigerian films to a lot of these films, we're like doing a disservice. It's unfair comparison. You know, you have a Nigerian film that has a budget of like maybe 300 million, 200 million, 100 million. A lot of films have a budget of 20 million naira.
And it's still a low budget film.
Today, it's quite high. Many films get made with 10 million.
Oh, okay.
I mean, not today, because these are way, way more expensive. But 60 million, let's convert to dollars. How much is 60 million naira today? So, like, but you go to Hollywood, yes, you know, low budget film, they call, you know, $1 million is low budget. We were celebrating the budget of Black Book, you know, that the premiere, that, you know, $1 million budget. But it's nothing in Hollywood. So you can already see, and typically in Hollywood, there is like 50% of the production budget for marketing. So if you make a film for $100 million in Hollywood, typically $50 million will be used to market that film. So you can see, and it's about marketing. That's why Funke does this thing very well. All those things that you saw. I remember I was going in the bus in December. I was going to Ikeja, and the lady sitting beside me was playing some of the videos that Funke with the cast had made for, you know, to promote the films. To get the cast, these are very busy people with busy schedules. The actors are very busy. There are a lot of people that want to do stuff in December. So to get them to create all those content and push it out, you know, that's a lot of money. So for me, I think we're getting there. You know, like, I think we're getting there. In December, for like, Tribe Called Judah spent 10 weeks in the cinemas, and it dominated every week until like the 8th week when it dropped, I think, when Beekeeper came out.
Yeah, Beekeeper. But you know, we were at a forum with cinema operators from all around Nigeria. Remember, we had this discussion.
Yeah.
And when Funke Akindele's movie came up,
yeah, I remember.
You understand?
Everybody was excited.
Was
like, it was like the only other film actually in that event that had that reaction was Beekeeper. Yeah, Toye Abraham, of course. Then
yes.
Yeah. So we are getting the 100%. And when you now think about, like, we are doing this with a tiny bit fraction of the budget.
Imagine if we had their money.
Oh, don't even talk about it.
So do we get to a point where cinema movie producers just collaborate to give themselves space so everybody can make money? Because I know that because Funke Akindele made money in the cinemas, many films that came out at the same time or even before her or after her couldn't make headway.
I don't think anybody should give anybody space. You know, I mean, I thought we agreed that 2024 we're not going to give for anybody. So, I mean, if we look at the rest of the world, like, I know that we always feel like, there are too much films in Nigeria. Wait till they happen. Like, but it's not like that. If you look at Hollywood, in fact, if you, in one time I was studying and I saw that Hollywood studios, because they have their own audiences, you know, they make sure that whenever they kind of like looking at what this other studio is making, and make sure that they have an option for their own audience at that time. So when this studio is releasing an animation studio, if you look last year, there was Across the Spider-Verse, and at the same time there was Teenage Mutants, we have the same vibe of you know cartoons and stuff. So you don't steal my audience. Then they came out with this other one for the kids to Migration. So it's like everybody's trying to protect their audience. So Abraham has a film, Funke should have her own film. What's her name? Should have Adam Odadi. What's her name? Mercy Aigbe should have her own film, so that they don't steal our audience.
Well, Adam Odadi actually did some.
That did very well. Did very well because
for the first time.
Yeah, did very well.
Outing
did very well
in cinemas, which is quite good. Well, so looking at what do you think is the talisman that these people have come to employ in making money in cinemas?
I think it comes down to marketing. You know, marketing is because, so if I go back to why we started Nollywire, in fact, it was that, so we wanted to go into production. And I have little background in business development. I was like, okay, let's see what's even the film business. And then I saw, oh shit, sorry. Film business is like a risky business, like very, you know, risky. So you might not make your money back. So, okay, what's the problem? I saw two things. Distribution, because we have limited screens, so we can't distribute across Africa because of cultural differences. Then marketing. Many films are coming out and nobody knows about them.
Wow.
So a film that you don't know about, you're not going to watch. You're not going to plan to get your family to go watch. If you look at it, what really made A Tribe Called Judah successful was because people were excited about it. People knew about it. She was there everywhere. Like, you did not have a choice. You could not have avoid her. So, and the films that did the best in December were the three films that Funke Akindele, Tony Abraham, and Mercy Aigbe, they were out there. Like, and kudos to Nigerian female filmmakers, they don't joke about marketing.
At all.
They carry on for it. Like, Nigerian male filmmakers, they do a lot of work, they do amazing film, but they are more reserved when it comes to marketing. But the females, they will beg, anything they will do. They will, to drag you out to go and watch the films, they will do. And it always shows.
What a man can do, a man can do.
I mean, you already said March is in the month of women, yeah? Yes. So, yeah, definitely.
So, looking at all of that, what do you think women in filmmaking in Nigeria have brought to the table that has made the industry so vibrant? Because in the past, we've had a lot of men. Before you know it, Biodun Stevens came up.
Yep.
More Abudu. Before you know it, we started having more women come up. Now, what do you think women have brought to the table?
I mean, I don't know. I think they're just... honestly, I don't know, because they seem to do it better than the... So, which I think 2 weeks ago, Jide, who is our community manager, we were just going through the box office data of the top films. And if you really look through those numbers, like, I think 6 or 5 of the top 10 films in Nigerian box office were directed by women. The first 3, Funke Akindele. The fourth one is Brotherhood, I think.
Brotherhood.
Yeah. No, okay. The fourth one is A Wedding Party.
Wedding Party, yes.
And then Wedding Party 2. So Wedding Party, I think Kemi Adetiba. So Kemi Adetiba, and I think the second one is Yakimala, I think. So then you have Brotherhood, Jade Oshibero.
Gotcha, yeah.
You have Your Excellency in that list.
Yeah.
So if you really, by the time you look at it, women like own Nollywood. There was recently the CEO of Anaku Films, Editi, was at an event in the US, and they were asking, how do we support female filmmakers in Nigeria? How do we give them more opportunities? And it was like, no, we like women own Nollywood. If you look, even YouTube, everywhere, they like women dominate Nollywood. So I think they changed the game, literally. They changed the game. So, yes.
They made it better, right?
Yeah, they made it better.
Okay, so, final question.
In your opinion, in 2023, which was the best movie? And I'm not talking about money made or anything. And yes, you can also add streaming platforms, Prime Video, Netflix, and everything. What movie did it for you in 2023?
Okay, so for me, I think the audience always, the market decides. Me? Oh, okay. So for me, I watch a lot of films actually in December. I didn't really work a lot. So I enjoyed A Tribe Called Judah for one in cinemas. I watched it the same day with Adam Daddy. I enjoyed it too. Okay. On streaming, on Prime Video, I really enjoyed Breath of Life. And on Netflix, I think I enjoyed Blood Vessel as well.
Blood Vessel?
Yeah, Blood Vessel. Moses Someone. Yeah, so like Nigerian films are getting better, trust me, every year. Budget is getting better, so they're able to pay actors to calm down. For example, Black Book, for 13 months, RMD couldn't work on another film. And it shows because that's the first Nigerian film to dominate Netflix charts globally. #1 film all around the world. So budgets, trust me, we're on the right. In the next 10, 15 years, it will be like the best time to get into Nollywood was yesterday. The next best time is today.
Now. I think we need a major international film festival here in Nigeria. A major one that brings all filmmakers together and showcase what we have.
I think Afrif is doing
amazing
work.
Is doing well.
I think Afrif is doing amazing work.
But it seems it's still confined to, have something big on the